form the queue, and then after you have finished your question and the question has been answered, if you could leave through the center aisle.
Identify themselves. You can identify themselves.
While you are forming the queue, it is essential that the following guidelines be strictly adhered to, so I would like to fill you in. This will avoid the chairman having to interrupt the questioner. This is a question time, not an opportunity for you to make a speech. If you want to make a speech, then I suggest you hire a hall, such as Sheikh Deedat has done today, the Royal Albert Hall, and he has graciously consented to entertain your questions. Please, only one question per visit to the microphone. If you have further questions, please just go down the center aisle and take your place at the back of the queue again. So this way, more people have an opportunity to ask questions, and as well, we get a broad range of questions. Please do not interrupt the answer. Ask your question and be respectful enough to listen to the answer. This is not a debate. Finally, please keep your questions succinct and related to the topic of today's lecture: how Rushdie fooled the West. It is not fair to the speaker or to the rest of the audience to ask a question on another topic. There are many tapes which you can purchase after this question segment which will deal with all of the other topics. There are approximately 65 tapes. If you could see Brother Shamshad, I'm sure that he could help to fill any needs that you might have to get any of the videotapes.
They can identify themselves and ask.
And also, if you would please, before asking your question, identify yourself and then proceed to ask your question. Okay. I think then we're ready for the first question. If you could please, sir, identify yourself and ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum. Wahib Hassan, a student. Just like to ask, should Rushdie die?
My son, are you British? Are you British? Huh? Yes. You are a Britisher. Now, if you are a Britisher, you see, I said, how Rushdie fooled the West. You are one of those. And if he did to your queen, if he did to your ruler, Mrs. Thatcher, what Rushdie did, I want to know from you, what would you do? What you would do. I want to know, if you are a Britisher, if you are a loyal citizen of this country, I want to know from you, what would you be doing?
Incidentally, the topic of should Rushdie die really is a separate topic, and there is a video cassette. It's Should Rushdie Die, the Islamic Verdict, which also is available outside. The next questioner, please.
I would like to ask that whether satanic verses can be an insult only against Islam, or it is an insult against all religions, including Christianity and Judaism. And if yes, is it not a good idea to ask the leading figures among Christians and Jews to express their views, whether they agree with the content of this book or not? Because I personally believe it is not insult against only Islam. It is insult against all religions, including Christianity, Judaism, and Hindu religion. And the second thing I wanted to ask, because I or other people here might have the wrong impression that you are supporter of any political figure, could you also clarify that point?
I didn't understand.
Yes. Could you repeat the second part of your question, please?
I or other people might have the impression that you are personally a supporter of certain political figures in this country. Please clarify also that point. Thank you.
The second question first. I have no affiliation with any political parties or any religious groups. I am a Muslim, and I stand here as a Muslim and I speak as a Muslim. With regards to the first question, you see, when I said how he took the West, more specifically tonight, the British, for a ride. Now the British, you can't say the British are only Christians. My Muslim brothers say they are British. The Jews in this country say they are British. The atheists say they are British. So I said, look, everybody is involved. You don't have to carry any religious label, affiliation, to specifically address you. He says, now look, you as a Jew, you know, you are being attacked. You as a Christian are being attacked. I said the whole of humanity, or the whites in general, and we Muslims in particular, everybody is attacked. So we don't have to start separating. I said, now where is your stand? You as a Britisher, whether you are an atheist or a Muslim or whatever you are. If you are a Britisher, you live in this country, you have been enjoying the benefits of this land, I want to know what is your stand, what must you do? And I told you, I spelled it out for you. The thing we have to do is to educate the people about the book. When he opens his mouth, Rushdie, so come, let us talk. This is what I'm suggesting, that you call the people for a dialogue. Sit down, man, give him a cup of tea, give him your bhajjas and samosas. I don't know whether you understand that. You see, you ask the Pakistani what I'm talking about. You know, I don't know whether you are from Iran or from where, what the bhajjas and samosas, whether you understand. But our bhajjas and samosas will do the trick. Give it to the guy, and talk to him. Inshallah, the job will be done. Sure.
I 100% agree with what you say, and I think it's a very good idea that in rational debate it's pointed out that this book is insult against all the religion, not only Islam.
The whole of humanity, the whole of humanity.
Good. We have the next questioner, please. Would you identify yourself, please?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Khalil. I am British. We say Rushdie, how he pulled the West. But so far, you know, Mr. Deedat mentioned he's a genius. To me, my judgment after what I've heard from you, he's an idiot. But countries that back him, he has been insulting to so many religions, Hindu, Christian, white, and so on. Now, for them to back the book, what would you call those people who support him to let the books go on? Me, as a Muslim, I say he should be banned from writing. Because
No.
he has caused...
The thing is now, you educate the people in power. I said they will do the rest. If you had shown to Maggie what he says about Maggie, you didn't do it. You didn't do it. You didn't tell the people, he said, look how he's abusing our queen. Did you? Anybody did it? Did anybody go and tell the people, he said, look what he's doing to our queen?
They are tolerant in this country. This is the problem. They are tolerant. They can accept, like we say, the Iron Lady.
There isn't a Britisher you can go and tell him that he's the son of a bitch. You go and tell him and see how tolerant he is to you.
Would you identify yourself, please, and ask your question?
Assalamu alaikum. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, Sheikh Deedat. Like all Muslims, I'm incensed by what Rushdie has written, and I feel I must protest. According to what you said during your marvellous lecture to the Quran, we cannot nickname people or mimic, is that right? Then how would I feel when I read your book, on the first line, refer to Satanic Salman and the picture with the horns and the hat? Is that against Quran or not? Could you please clarify that point for me? Thank you. Thank you.
Well, let me say, look what he did to me. See, if I swore you, anybody will justify you swearing back. Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah.
If I swore you, you swear me. You swear me, I swear you. And people will say, well, you know, you just can't have. That guy did it to me. What he did to me, my natural reaction, I'm not perfect, by God, by far from perfect.
Could we have quiet, please? Excuse me, you had your chance. If you would like to ask a question, please go to the back of the queue. Would you please be quiet? You had your chance to ask 3 questions.
Now, why don't you line up? Why are you sitting there like a dead duck, you know? Why don't you line up there? You get your turn. You. Line up. Take your turn. Then we know who you are, what you're talking about. So he's shouting from there. Now he's discussing strategy. How? Look, my son, I am like anybody else, like you, like anybody else. I am no saint. And I am not perfect. I am telling you, this is what Islam teaches. I, you, everybody, you must try to the best of your ability to live by it. Let's say to a degree I have fallen short of that requirement. I have done it. I have done it.
Good night. Thank you. The next questioner, please. Identify yourself.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Omar. I'm a Muslim. I need no other identification except the title that Allah in His infinite wisdom, power and grace has given to me, and that is that I'm a Muslim. I heard much of what you said and I agreed, and I heard much of what you said and I was hurt and disagreed. I was pained for the children that were here and the language. Of course, we live in a world where language such as that is often used. But what pained me the most was when I heard, if I can quote you, and please allow for my inaccuracies, sometimes I am often mistaken. If you live in a country, you should be willing to die for it. Well, there are many countries in which I'm willing to live, but there's certainly only one cause for which I'm willing to die. Please clarify yourself if you could.
Yes. Thank you. You see, I made a statement that if a country is worth living in, it is worth dying for. I did say that. Islam teaches us that if you can't live, you can't practice your religion, you can't do things right, then you make hijrah. Allah tells in the Quran that His earth is vast. You know, for provision, He will provide for you. Make hijrah and go. Go somewhere else. You have no right to remain in a place now. If you are not allowed to practice your faith, your iman, our thing is now, if you are not in a position to practice your deen, you must get out. That is all. So, but if it's worth, I said, if it's worth living in, your country is at war and you sit at home and say, let the people die for you, for your children. I says, no, you must be prepared to defend the country against any outside attack. Right is right, wrong is wrong. But you owe certain loyalties to your country. If you are in Pakistan, you have to defend Pakistan. If you are in Saudi Arabia and there's conscription, in my country there's no conscription for the black man. But if there is, I can't help it. He said, look, if you live in this country, you have to fight for this country. Otherwise, get out. So this is the answer I can give you, my brother. That I said, if it's worth, if you think it's worth living in, then it's worth dying for. If it's not worth living in, then you are free.
Assalamu alaikum. Brother Sheikh, in bracket Professor Deedat, in your opening speech earlier, you mentioned the course you took in South Africa relating to this satanic settlement. I think I am in full support of what you did, and I am very pleased with the success you got. But will people, say in predominantly Muslim countries, and also Muslims living in this country, follow the same course? Viewing that the book was written here, published here, which means all those actors, the Queen, the head of state, and other leaders who were accused or abused, have read the book, presumably, or some others have read it and translated it to them. They knew it, and yet they allowed it to be published. So if they didn't object to it, we as Muslims living in this country, though I'm not British, but I'm living here, should we not protest to defend our own religion, our own faith, our own belief? May I know what you think about the action of our brothers and sisters in Bradford, who really brought us to light to defend our cause? Thank you.
think you missed the point when I said that if I was here with you when this turmoil was taking place, I would have joined you in your marches, in your crying, in your book burning. I would have been one with you. Did I say that, if you remember? I said that. I would have been one with you. But now I said I have an advantage. I was far away, and it's taken some time for me to see things. In other words, now I can formulate ideas, which you in the midst of turmoil, sitting on a hot stove, you can't do. It's not your fault. I'm not blaming anybody that, look, why couldn't you do this? Why? I said, look, the reason is you were in turmoil. You are on the run. Like Jesus Christ. You see it in the Bible. The man is on the move. Every time he opens his mouth, people want to stone him. So he's on the move. It's a different circumstances from another man who is at peace and rest and is able to deliver a message. So I have that advantage and experience from other people's mistakes. I'm benefiting. I said, look, this man here on the program was questioned. Have you read the book? And our heroes, almost all, they say no. So I said, no, I mustn't fall foul of that. Suppose I go to Britain and I offered £50,000 to BBC TV. BBC TV, I offered them £50,000 to give me 5 minutes on prime time to give them the best of Rushdie. I said, you want to read in public? You had the blasphemous banquet? Give me only 5 minutes and I give you £50,000. Give me 5 minutes to read to you the best of Rushdie. No reply. I offered ABC and PBS TV in America $50,000 for 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. Why I'm able to do that is I'm benefiting from my other brothers' mistakes. They made certain mistakes. I said, no, I won't do that. You know, I might just share this with you. I think Sheikh Sadi Rahmatullah alayh, one of our great philosopher poets, he was asked, he says, where did you learn all these good manners from? Your good manners. You know, you're such a perfect man that we see, you know, well behaved. Where did you learn them from? So he said, I learned them from the unmannerly. So how can you learn manners from the unmannerly? He says, no, you see, everything I see in the other man that I feel is not right, I won't do it. So this thing you did like that, I won't do that. That mistake you did, no, I won't do that. So I learned my good manners from the unmannerly. What do you? So I was only benefiting from other people's mistakes. That is all.
Thank you very much. You are great.
Next questioner, please. Could you identify yourself, please?
Assalamu alaikum. I have no question, but a request. A request only to Dr. Deedat, what he is doing in this world, to be translate one share which I will research and invite everybody to come in speaker corner. Nikal kar khankaon se, Dr. Iqbal says, Maulana Lolabi Kashmiris, in Kashmir is translated in Urdu. Nikal kar khankaon se.
Sir, could you ask your question?
Ada kar rasme shabiri, ke fakre khankai hai fakr anju wo dilgiri. आप सबका काम है निकल जाए घरों से, बारकों को, मस्जिदों को, जहां कोई एक सफेद मिलता है उसको रुश्ती की शैतानियत से आगाह करें. प्लीज ट्रांसलेट इन इंग्लिश.
I'm not an Urdu Khan, but so few words I understood was that instead of remaining in the monkeries and in your cloisters, you know, saying tasbih and sitting down doing nothing, so get out and do some work. That is what is. In essence, that's the message.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, Sheikh Ahmed. It's alright us saying, right, to stop Salman Rushdie for what he's done to the brothers and sisters. But don't you think he's done the damage already to us? Don't you think what he's done already is very bad already? So don't you think that if we did see him, our natural reaction would be to do something to him? Wouldn't you think so? For what he's done to us?
You are a Britisher?
Yeah.
Well, your feelings are my feelings.
Yeah.
Can we have the next questioner, please? Would you identify yourself, please, sir?
Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. After all the things that that Salman Rushdie did, said, and would he be allowed back into Islam? Would he be allowed to accept Islam again?
You see, accepting Islam, this is in the hands of God, whether Allah accepts. If you commit murder, rape, whatever, you commit a crime. Now, if you make istighfar, repentance, sincerely to Allah, Allah can forgive you. But in the house of Islam, the Sharia takes its course. Allah can forgive, but the Sharia won't forgive. You committed a murder, deliberate murder, you deserve to die, life for life. But in the hereafter, your recompense is there. Allah says, all right, okay, you sincerely repented, I forgive you. That's His prerogative. But the Sharia has no right. The Sharia won't allow you to forgive if you do a crime.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Sayyida Kirmani and I'm a British Muslim, and this question is to you, Brother Deedat. You mentioned in your course of speech the Islamic punishment for adulterers and slanderers, but you haven't mentioned the punishment which says in the Quran for the blasphemy that Rushdie committed. And as a Muslim, and as far as my knowledge goes of the Quran, your approach to Rushdie affair is in contradiction of Holy Quran. My second question is...
Now that was a statement.
My second question is...
That was not a question, that was a statement you made.
Do you agree with this?
What?
Do you agree with my statement?
What statement did you make? What did you say?
In Quran, the punishment for blasphemy against the Prophet of Allah is quite different. It's either by death or by stoning or cutting arms and legs. And that's what it says in Quran.
Right, I'll answer you, my sister. We were dealing with the subject, how Rushdie fooled the West. Now, this thing I was telling you is so vast that this one person or one time you can't deal with everything. I have dealt with this problem. Now, this will be the third tape. Third tape on the same problem. Should Rushdie die? The Islamic verdict.
Should he?
There's the question.
But
now you have to get the tape.
Can you tell us? Because we're all here.
No. This is another lecture. You want me to deliver another lecture?
No, just say
No, wait. We started here at 2:30. It's 4:30 now. This will take another 2 hours. You want me to expound to you for 2 hours? Look, you can't just make statements. You have to get this tape.
I'm only asking you if you agree with the Quranic punishment or you don't.
I agree what the Quran says, and here we deal with it in total. 2 hours.
So you agree with the Quranic punishment?
How, as a Muslim, how can you disagree?
That's all I want.
I think that...
Then further, again, should Rushdie die?
Yes.
The Judeo-Christian verdict. That's a different subject. Okay. Now, at that subject, you said, look, what about Islam? I said, look, when I was talking about Islam, you said, what about... I said, look, wait a minute. You see, there are people who can make 100 different statements in 15 minutes. Unfortunately, I can't do that. You see, if I touch something, I have to explain to you the whole situation. So, the Islamic verdict, the Judeo-Christian verdict, and now you will see in the future how he fooled the West. And now each and every one is separate, independent, but is doing a certain job.
I think that excuse me, sister, I think that Sheikh Deedat has been very patient in answering a question that is not related to the topic. And brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask you to please remain and contain your questions to the topic. It is unfair to ask a question on another topic which will require perhaps a couple hours of explanation. Could we have the next question, please?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Tawassa Mohammed and I'm a Muslim Pakistani. I want to ask you, is the fatwa passed by Ayatollah Khomeini, is that justified from an Islamic point of view?
I don't think you understand English, my child. Look, we have been talking about how Rushdie fooled the West. Where does Khomeini fit in? The topic. Look, if you came with the understanding, I don't know whether you understood, a challenge to the giants of the British literary world, can you stomach the best of Rushdie? There was no Khomeini, no Quran, nothing. We're not bringing it. The Quran says this, the Hadith says this, nothing. We are talking about how he fooled the West. And what you can do now is to educate the British what he has done to them. Let them do the job. Then they will do it for you.
Could we have the next questioner, please?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Would you identify yourself, please?
My name is Hajj, and I would like to ask a question to Sheikh Ahmed Deedat. He says that Rushdie has blasphemed all the humankind, all human beings. And even if he didn't spare the Queen, we know, as he says in his book, he has used some words for our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we know that this Prophet is even greater than the Queen, or whoever that is greater than the Queen. The Prophet is greater than you. I would like to know, Mr. Ahmed Deedat, as a Muslim, because something good went on and some books have been banned. I would like to know, as a Muslim, our point of view, what should we carry on actually to do? Because many questions, the real question that is to be asked is whether Salman Rushdie is a Muslim or he's not a Muslim.
I don't think you're reading the newspapers. Look, Salman Rushdie, he says he is not a religious man. He doesn't follow any religion. That's his verdict. He is out of the pale of Islam on his own confession. Well, now what do you want to go and ask him now? What will we ask him? He says he doesn't believe. Finish. It's over. That's what he says. He's a murtad. He's an unbeliever. So you can't treat him as a believer. What else proof you want from him now? I don't know. The whole world knows that he says he's not a religious man. He's not a Muslim. He says so. He was born in the house of Islam. You and I can be. But it's possible that you become a murtad. You become a Christian, you become a Buddhist, you become an atheist, and you still have a Muslim name given by your fathers. So that's his case. So where do you go from here now?
Thank you very much. Assalam.
Ready for the next question, please?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Musa from Nigeria on a visit. I wanted to ask a question which has earlier on been asked. But I have an observation to do as regard the general behavior of the audience. I don't know whether that one will be accepted here. Observation.
Do you have a question related to the topic, today's topic?
I have a question which has already been asked and answered. But I have an observation to do as regard the general behavior of the audience.
Yes, I think that we made that quite clear in the guidelines, that we don't have time for observations, and I'm sure it's an interesting one, but Sheikh Deedat has rented the hall and has given his lecture, and now is a question period. So if you have a question related to the topic, please ask it. If not, you'll have to keep your observation for another time.
Okay, it's just an observation. Still not going to
but thank you.
It's accepted, thank you.
We're ready for the next question, please.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muslim Jafar Kaku. Can I first of all thank you on everybody's behalf for presenting such a different way to what satanic verses is actually saying. The second thing I wanted to say was, can you make sure or do some effort in helping us to give this book to each and every household in Britain as well as in America or in Western countries? We will try, inshallah, but we need your support. Can you make sure in helping us, if you can, by video as well?
We are publishing 100,000 in Britain for free distribution, and another 100,000 in America for free distribution. I would like to see 1 million copies here and 1 million copies there. But now I'm appealing to you that don't kill the goose that lays the golden egg. See, don't kill us. What you do is, how much does this book cost each? Roughly 15 pence. Right. This costs 15 pence. Buy 10. Buy 100 at 15 pence each, so you don't kill us. And you give them out on your behalf. Yeah? This is what you ought to do. That way you'll be helping us immensely. Because now I'm interested in publishing the 100,000 under print. But then I said, look, I want 1 million. Look, this book should be given out in the streets, in all the cities. Give them out freely. You know, you buy them at cost price. If you can publish them yourself, cheaper, we are giving you an open order inside. We want no royalties from you. We have no copyrights. You publish it, you sell it, you distribute it free. No restrictions whatsoever. So if you want to do that, you can have that privilege as well. You can print it yourself. Maybe it'll cost you 10 pence. Maybe it'll cost you 5 pence. Go ahead and do it. But help us that way. Spread the book.
Inshallah, we'll help you. But if you can start a fund or something just to publicize this book and the videos, I'm sure you'll get a lot of response from people who want to donate to this cause.
No, we don't want donation. You just buy it yourself.